Finally, it's almost here. After months of twiddling our thumbs, we are just a few short days away from BlizzCon and the Overwatch World Cup Finals. This weekend, Canada, France, Finland, China, Australia, South Korea, America, and the United Kingdom will clash. Who are you rooting for? Well, just a quick reminder that up until the Overwatch World Cup Finals start, you can still join my private group for the Action Esports Overwatch World Cup Bracket Challenge. Just follow the link in the description, make an account, make your predictions, and then join my room with the code DIVIDING in all caps. And the most accurate bracket will win a $50 Amazon gift card provided by Action themselves. In the spirit of the competition, and because I had a ton of fun making the Rio Redemption video, I decided to take on another roster building challenge, the Overwatch World Cup Dream Team. But let's be honest here, if I was just allowed to pick anyone in the Overwatch World Cup, I would be picking mostly South Korean players, and that's just boring. Let's make this a little more interesting, shall we? The rules to this challenge are simple. I must make the best 8-player roster possible. However, I can only take one player from each of the 8 BlizzCon finalists. One from America, one from France, one from China, you get it. It is assumed that I have unlimited money and that any player can be taken from their current teams if I throw enough money at them. Easy enough, right? With the video's ground rules set, let's get into the roster. So, in my Rio Redemption video, I announced that the players I would choose going in order by role, from main tank all the way over to main support. In this video, I'm going to be doing it a little different. I am a firm believer that a team is as strong as its weakest link. Therefore, I'm going to start by talking about who I'd pick from the teams that I personally consider to be the weaker teams in this tournament. This is because teams on the lower end of the scale may only have good options on 2 or 3 roles, so I can pick who I want from those teams and then fill in the holes with the higher ranked teams, who I could really just pick anybody. So with that in mind, I'm going to start off with Team Australia. Mainly because, like I said, they're a weaker team, but also because my choice for the Australian representative is pretty painfully obvious. I have to give honorable mention to Trill, who has done a great job on main tank, and I genuinely wish the best for the Blank Esports boys, but there's only one person for the job, and it just has to be Custa. It has to. He's the only one on the team who has prior Overwatch League experience, and is just one of the best presences that you can add to a team. From the Fuel to the Valiant, Custa has shown great leadership on and off the stage. While he was known mostly for his Mercy, because that was just the meta in Overwatch League, Custa showed proficiency in anything you could want from a main support player in the Thailand group stage, flexing onto Ana, Lucio, and Zenyatta. Custa's calming presence and in-game leadership would be a great addition to any team. So for Australia, my choice is clear. Now we move over to the United Kingdom, where the choice is less clear, but not by much. I do have to give a shout out to Cruz, as he has broken the UK out of the dreaded one Overwatch League player club when it was announced that he was being picked up by the Paris Overwatch League franchise. However, once again, I'm going to value experience over anything else and pick Boombox. Now, there are multiple reasons why I picked Boombox. First of all, I want to have a support duo that can talk to each other. That will definitely help. Secondly, Boombox does everything that you really want an off support to do. Zenyatta, Ana, and sometimes Moira. And while he's no Jonak, Boombox has been a very solid player throughout Overwatch League Season 1. And thirdly, when we're trying to make a team with so many different nationalities, you have to take into consideration how well a player will take being in an environment like that. And since Boombox is hailing from the Fusion, the most mixed team in Overwatch League, Boombox has plenty of experience being on a team like this. When he's paired with Custa, I think these two will be a fearsome support duo that can challenge the best in Overwatch League. Next, let's move to China. Now, China is a very weird team to try and scout. While with the 2 teams before this, I could pretty much look at them and say, yeah, I'm choosing the Overwatch League player, I can't really say that with China. I wouldn't really say that Sky, the only former Overwatch League player on Team China, is the best player on this team. But who is? Unfortunately, Leave is underage, or I would have chosen him. China's other 2 DPS players, Crystal and Shy, are both good candidates, but when the dust settled on the Thailand group stage, there was only one player who really stood head and shoulders above the rest, the guy people were talking about for weeks afterwards. That's right, it's the main tank Gu Shui. Gushue has probably been the breakout star of this tournament so far, taking advantage of his first appearance in the Overwatch World Cup. He showed a Reinhardt and Winston worthy of starting in the Overwatch League in Thailand, and I think that if he gets onto an Overwatch League team to sharpen his skills further, Gushue could be really scary really soon. Next, we'll move to France. Now we've gotten to the point where teams have a lot of good options. France is a team that now has 6 of its 7 players in Overwatch League after Nico and Ben Best got picked up by Paris. Congrats, guys. However, even before, a core of Unco, Soon, and AKM is extremely scary. But I'm gonna have to go with Poco here. Just like with Boombox, I really do value Poco's experience on a roster like the Fusions, which has made a point out of uniting people in all sorts of nationalities, which is basically what I'm doing here. Poco is, of course, famous for his diva, but has showcased a lethal Zarya as well. Poco played with a Korean tank partner Sado in the Overwatch League Season 1 playoffs and found success, so hopefully the transition to a Chinese partner possibly wouldn't be much trouble. Now let's go on over to Canada, where we just have a lot of great options. Do I go with the Zenyatta breakout in Crimzo? Do I take the likability and talent of Agilities? Or maybe I take a chance on XQC? Nah, it's gonna be Surefour. Surefour brings a lot to the table. Not only is he one of the best hit scans in the game, he's been in the game since the very beginning, he has one of the biggest fan bases in Overwatch League, and has probably the most relaxed attitude you can ever expect to see from someone in an environment like Overwatch League. Plus, I think Surefour's rapid ascension to the top of Widowmaker in Stage 3 shows that he can truly master a hero if he puts his mind to it. That's the kind of quality you love to see in a player. Now let's move to Finland. Finland is awesome. Anyone who's watched my Casuals Guide to the Overwatch World Cup knows how highly I rate Finland as a team. So much that it's really difficult to pick out an individual player to take with me. I really like the tank duo of Fraggy and Zappis, but from Finland, I'm gonna do something that I don't think many people are expecting, and I'm going to take Shaz. Now this is mostly a luxury pick from me, as I actually rate Shaz quite highly. I think he's one of the most underrated flex supports in the world. Not only that, but he's shown an ability to pull out a decent hit scan if he needs to. His Tracer and Sombra were pretty good the few times he brought it out. With him and Boombox together at flex support, I think I can have a lot of fun experimenting to see what strategies and comps I can pull off and what works. And I could really have a fearsome support trio. Now, America. Let's talk America. I think the United States has a really solid team from top to bottom. But in their group stage, it became pretty clear that their strongest point was with their tanks. Muma and Space are simply an incredible tank duo to watch, and either one of them would be great additions to any team. But for my sake, I had to look at which tank position do I have more questions about. And when you have a guy like Poco already on your team, I'm gonna go with Muma. We all know him, he's probably the only Western main tank that is consistently mentioned up there with the Korean greats like Mono and Fissure. Throughout Overwatch League Season 1, he's shown mastery of all 3 main tank roles and then some. And I think Poco will really enjoy having a main tank partner who can speak English. Now, finally, of course, we come to South Korea. Now, if you didn't know, the roster South Korea is fielding for BlizzCon is significantly different than the one that they had in the group stage. Fleta is coming in for Sabiolbi, Fury's coming in for Meko, and Onamo is in for Arc. With that in mind, I'm going to choose none of them, because if you've been paying attention to my team, it currently has a gaping hole in the flex DPS position, and I think Libero is the guy to fill that hole. With all of the superstar Koreans in the league, it's so easy for Libero to fade into the background, but the man is the literal definition of a flex DPS. Throughout the course of Season 1, he has specialized in projectile roles like Genji, Hanzo, Junkrat, and Pharah, but has also played hitscan roles like Tracer and Widowmaker and done just as well. Libero is the kind of guy that I can pretty much plug into any composition, tell him what hero to play, and no matter what it is, he will do it at a world-class level. That's a quality you don't see much in this game, and that's why, in my eyes, Libero is an infinitely valuable player that I can't wait to have on this team. So, that's it. To recap, my team is Muma and Gushue on main tank, Poco on off tank, Surefour and hitscan DPS, Libero on projectile DPS, Boombox and Shaz on flex support, and Custa on main support. What do you think of this roster? What would your dream team be under the same restrictions? Let me know in the comments, because I really do enjoy seeing the rosters that you guys come up with. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more competitive Overwatch content, then make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe. I try and put out a video every week. But until next time, that's all from me. Don't get tilted.